Why are all white people called Caucasians if most of them are not from the Caucasus region? If most of them are not from the Caucasus region, there was an assumption in the past that white people originated from that region. Because it was based on an incorrect assumption a long time ago and has since been mostly classified as outdated, I've heard it's not commonly used anymore outside of the US to refer to Europeans and European descendants. The prevailing view at the time was that Noah's Ark came to rest in the Caucasus and that it was where humanity originated. Circassian Georgian women were also regarded by Europeans as just the prettiest darn women there were, and thus the archetypical people as a whole. They classified people into three races. The Mongoloid race went east, the Negroid race went south, and the Caucasoid race went west and around the Caucasian region itself. Race science is bad and full of holes. Same way sub-Saharan Africans are all grouped as one race despite having more genetic difference than a European and an East Asian. I'm not Caucasian, I am sparkling white. This is related to my other favorite generalized term, anti-Semite. There were a whole lot of Semitic peeps. Not just the Jews. I mean, modern anti-Semites don't have a problem with Phoenicians. Right? Messed up theories about race and identity. It's down to a horrendously outdated racial theory that the different races of mankind developed independently from each other in different regions, with white people originating in the Caucasus region. The same reason most African Americans are not from Africa. Same reason we call African Americans black when their color isn't black. And white peoples aren't white. The Declaration of Arbroath states that the Scots are descendants of Scythians. There is even some sketchy DNA evidence for this. It's a relic from 19th century pseudoscience, only used in the USA, as far as I can tell. Because language evolves. White as awesome mean the opposite of awful. Racism mostly. Interestingly enough, the theory it's based on is defunct and 140 yo, whilst also only being used in the US today. It's not just white people though. Until the 50s in the US it included Indian people, for example. It's basically the equivalent to Indo-European, based on some bad theories. Outside the US, Caucasian people are people from the mountains of the same name, although I assume some places also do the same due to U.S. interventionism and influence. Why are African Americans called African Americans when they aren't from Africa? Wait until people hear where Aryans are from. But isn't our skins just various shades of brown? Why are we not being realistic? Is it because we think we need someone to dislike? We're not, it's an American thing. We just say white, British, Irish, etc. over here. Because race is a social construct and we create boxes based on skin color that don't really correlate to anything biological. None of it makes sense the deeper you dive. It's a euphemism. Those rarely make sense. The word being avoided is white, because it got associated with white power, whites only signs, etc. way back in the day. These days the term white is back. Ironically, because critical face theory fans talk about various white things all the time, e.g. white fragility. So everyone started saying white again. Wait till I tell you that the Caucasus are technically in West Asia, not Europe. Back when it was believed that there were different races of humans, they were named either for the perceived color of the skin, or the region from which it was thought they came. So Caucasian, Mongolian. Now we know that there's only one race. So who cares? I think this is an Americanism. Same reason all black people are called African American in the USA. It's an American thing. We don't really say Caucasian in the UK. Only in English, by the way. Same way they call the Netherlands Holland or German Amish people Pennsylvania Dutch. Someone somewhere got it wrong and stuck with it. Because race is a cultural construction. It's not real. Shape of their heads. People from the Caucasus had heads that were shaped most like the idealized white person head shape. They are not. Only the US uses that. Maybe Canada? No one else uses it. Maybe we should all go back there, huh? In most of the world, light skin is a disadvantage. Pretty much the only place on Earth you need really light skin is the Eurasian steppe. The limited diet and lack of seafood mean light skin helps you with production of vitamin D. It was theorized that the white people spilled out of the steppes into Europe by way of the Caucasus. Because everybody has Caucasian genes. White people where only I'm the Caucasian region, all of Georgia, Armenia, Azerbaijan and part of Russia and everywhere else were indigenous dark-skinned people. Wishing we were all called Vikings. But that is just the Scandinavian part of me. The answer is taxonomic traits. People who exhibited Caucasoid characteristics were classified taxonomically as Caucasians. As a biologist, I collected old biology textbooks that previously divided man like tigers being divided into Bengal, Siberian or Sumatran subspecies into subspecies that included Caucasoid, Mongoloid, Negroid and a special category for the Aboriginals, all based on phenotypical traits. Some biologists went to a DNA taxonomic model, but that, too, became too controversial. That's literally only a US-American thing. Not sure, but my family's ethnicity is all Western European, German, Dutch and French, so I'm definitely not Caucasian. But we're all from the same planet and share the same atoms. We're all 70 water. We're all really one race. The same way that white people are called white even though they're peach pink colored. The linguistics are not scientifically accurate. It's not white either. It's more like pinkish, slightly brownish. Isn't it? There is the choice between two wrongs. Racism. All white people being the same is acceptable racism, but all Asian people are the same is not. Hence, racism. I'm comfortable being called a cracker. No need to get all fancy. For the same reason as Asians are Mongoloids but not all from Mongolia. Or Africans are Negroids but not all from Niger. I think Caucasus is the region where people thought Noah's Ark landed. And all white people were thought to be descendant of Noah's Ark. Racism and religion. Why are black people allowed to call us white when we cannot call them black? Why are Caucasians even called white, when that classification also includes persons from the Middle East? Mostly Americans use the word Caucasian. They used to think whites did come from that region. It could still be true. They're finding new things out all the time. Caucasian as in a white person for Asian Cauc. Because race as a whole is a plainly unscientific set of categories. When there's more genetic variety between members of a shared race than there is between races as a whole, then I think it's safe to say the whole sense of scientific objectivity here is made up. It's a social construct, meaning it just is whatever people make it. And that's why we just say white people are Caucasian. Hopefully this will be one step in a path towards realizing that all racially ordered systems and ideas are veiling social policies with a veneer of biology. Racism. Follow-up. Why are Latinx OA people considered Latin? It's a dead language they don't speak.